JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 7th of April 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session, a live session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So yeah, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now guys, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and there we go, boom, we broke the upside line and we broke below this 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, and we continue now to slide. So looking at this, of course, this doesn't really paint a very positive picture. So I would say as long as it stays below this 21-day EMA, then yeah, we will aim for lower areas. If of course it manages to climb back above, let's say at least the 100-day EMA right here, near the 27,600 zone, then yes, maybe a bit of a push higher could be possible. However, at the moment, it is how it is. At the moment I am just kind of, let's say, leaning a little bit more towards the downside. Hong Kong Seng Index, yep, the index did drift lower and still is kind of trading here. So, but as you can see, it's still holding on to this upside line taken from the low of the 17th of March. So in a way, I would say as long as it is able to remain above this upside line, then there is a bit of a chance for this one to maybe to push back up. However, I do understand that there is a bit of a, kind of contradiction here between the indices right now. To be honest, that's the case. It seems like some indices do move higher. For example, the FTSE 100, but that one's mainly moving on the weaker pound. Here, the Hong Kong Seng Index is, yeah, like I said, it's still holding on to this upside line. However, and this 21-day EMA. However, if it breaks this upside line, then yes, we will go for some lower levels, especially if the index also drops below this little hurdle here, the current lowest point of April, near the 21,558 zone. Now jumping into the German index DAX, and yeah, here we have a interesting situation where we pushed away, we dropped below that 21-day EMA. If you remember, I kept on talking about this, and I said that if we drop and stay below that 21-day EMA, then well, lower levels could be met here, and my next target will be this 14,100 zone, which a break of which is needed in order to go for lower levels. At the moment, yes, I am, like I said, I am leaning towards the downside, but I would need to see a good drop below this 14,100 zone in order to get a little bit more comfortable with that idea. At the moment, what could still happen is we could see, let's say, a rebound, because as you can see, we did violate this territory, but we kind of stayed above it. So if we do violate it again, then yes, more sellers could join in. However, we'll still be very careful, very cautious, because again, we might see maybe this one rebounding and pushing maybe back towards this downside line. But again, at the moment, everything's leaning a little bit more towards the downside. Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys. So looking at this picture here, it is quite interesting because yesterday Dow was the kind of the least losing index from the top three in the US. So yeah, it drifted lower but managed to remain above that 200-day EMA. So that's quite interesting here. Of course, like I said, we'll continue monitoring this. If it does stay above this 200-day EMA, then yes, some more maybe more buyers could join in. Currently, the cash index is sitting at around, let me just quickly double check, 34,365 levels. So yeah, it's below this 200-day EMA. Okay, we're near this support hurdle right here, the low of the 23rd of March, and like I said, we're just slightly above it, this 34,353 level. And if we do continue to trade above this, then maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. However, like I said, it's a tricky one right now. On one hand, let's see if this is not going to end up being somewhat of a, let's say, a head and shoulders pattern, with the neckline being somewhere around here. So basically, if this area does hold, then a bit of a rebound here could be possible. But then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep an eye on this little downside line here. So basically, if we do rebound from this area, we might travel to the 100-day EMA, or even, like I said, this downside line taken from the high of the 30th of March, and which, if holds, yep, could signal another decline here, could result in another decline. But even then, guys, I mean, still somehow it seems that this area right here could be building up nicely, and we could be potentially maybe seeing a possible move lower if we do drop below this hurdle. So long story short, I will continue aiming lower, but at the moment I would like to see now a drift below that 34,353 territory, and then yeah, lower levels could be met. Now then, jumping into DXY, the dollar index, very quickly on that one. So we are retracing back down a little bit here, but we're still above the upper side of this range, which we managed to break. So we, as you can see here, we on Tuesday we managed to break the upper side of the range here. Yes, we stayed above it and we pushed further north. What I said before, that I will be targeting that psychological 100 level. Yesterday, basically we kind of didn't really reach that 100 level, yep, we started now drifting back down. Now again, if we do stay above this hurdle, yes, I'll still continue aiming higher, but if we start dropping and stay below this area, well, I will have to probably rethink everything again, and just to see what what else we can squeeze out of this, because then probably I will consider maybe a bit of a retracement here back to the 21-day EMA. Jumping into gold. Gold is quite interesting here because look at this. I mean, it keeps on flirting with this downside line. It keeps on flirting with this 1918 zone. So on one hand, yes, we are still below. If you look at it closer, we're struggling to kind of stay above the 21-day EMA. So that's a bit of a bearish indication for me. However, I need a confirmation break. I'm still monitoring this because, again, this is not perfect here. Again, it is forming something of a possible head and shoulders pattern right here, with the neckline being around that 1918 level, but still a confirmation break is needed, guys, so we cannot really get way too comfortable with let's say lower levels until we get that break. The same story for the upside. We need to see a push above this downside line and a push above the 21-day EMA, and we would like to see the commodities staying above this area, and then slowly we could start aiming for the upside again. WTI oil, guys, so it is a bit of a roller coaster ride lately, so I hope you're kind of not getting way too frustrated with this, because to be honest, if you look at this overall, yes, it continues to trade below the 21-day EMA. So this kind of, gives that more of a negative approach here. And also the fact that yesterday, for example, we dropped and stayed below that 98.54 level. Yes, kind of created a bit more bearishness in all this. And to be honest, it seems that as long as it stays below this hurdle, below this 98.54 level, yep, we will continue aiming lower. So, long story short, for now, I'm keeping an eye on this, and yeah, if we do stay below this hurdle, then yeah, I'll aim for that 93.56 zone or this upside support line taken from the low of the 2nd of December of last year. Ethereum, very quickly on that one. Ethereum drifting lower. I mean, it drifted lower yesterday, found support near the 200-day EMA, and now we're seeing a bit of a rebound. However, that 21-day EMA is doing its job and providing good support. So, of course, the decline came on the stronger dollar. Yes, this ETH/USD kind of got pushed to the downside, but again, probably not all is lost here for the buyers, especially if the crypto travels somewhere back above this 30,284 zone. We will then aim for that 3,580 territory marked by the highest point of April, and then so on and so on, of course. But at the moment, the big question here is that can we climb back above this 3,284 zone? If we can, then yes, we will go for some higher levels. For the downside, now for the downside, it's an interesting one as well. I would say somewhere maybe below this little hurdle, this 3,045 level, a nice good drop below it. That's marked by the inside swing high of the 2nd of March, by the way. So a nice good drop below this potentially could maybe lead to some lower levels, but then we would have a little issue here with the further downside is something like this. So, if we do drop below that 3,045 level, yes, we will go for lower levels, but we'll aim for this upside line taken from the low of the 24th of February. AUDUSD. So I talked a lot about this in the beginning of this week, guys, and there we go. Beautiful, beautiful move here we had in the beginning of this week and on Tuesday, and there we go. Now we're seeing a beautiful decline. And what I said before, that if we stay above this hurdle, above the 0.7540 zone, then there is still potential for the upside. But now I'm just seeing a bit of a retracement here. I mean, I'm seeing kind of weakness, and another thing. Again, this is another thing, that a little annoying thing. Oh, and by the way, let me just get rid of this Fibonacci here. No, oh, actually, out of curiosity, how much was it? Oh, yeah, there we go, 38.2 we reached. Right, now this is probably a little bit more interesting because we managed to reach the 38.2. Now the question is, can we see a hold up around here? Because basically, I would say, let's see if this is not going to end up being somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. So we kind of have our left shoulder here. We have our head, and the neckline is around this 38.2. So if this holds, we might see maybe a bit of a rebound here, a push back to the upside. Again, this is going to be quite interesting to see, to be honest. At the moment, I am, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on this hurdle. If this hurdle gets broken, then yes, I'll go for lower levels. But if it continues to hold, yep, maybe a bit of a rebound then could be possible. Now, USDJPY, guys. USDJPY, here I would say it's very important to see what's going to happen here further. For example, looking at this picture, it seems that we're leaning a little bit more towards the downside. However, in the short run, because the thing that we're forming here, we have a bit of a shooting star here. We're seeing a bit of weakness already, and of course, if the equities continue to slide, yeah, yen buying could be resumed, and yes, we could see this one drifting nicely to to the downside. So the only thing is, of course, we can draw a bunch of upside lines here. We can draw this steeper one. Let me just put this one on the chart. We can draw something like this here. So yeah, if this gets broken, to be honest, yeah, lower levels could be met, guys. Ideally, I would still prefer to see a drop somewhere below this 121.28 zone, just because what I don't want to see here is maybe, you know, a range of some sort. So let's say if it's somehow ends up being something like this, and this probably won't really work well here for the, you know, for those who like trading a bit more trendy markets. But at the moment, I mean, here, I mean, if you do like ranges, guys, this might work out nicely for you eventually if we break this upside line and fall lower. USDCHF. So this one, well, actually, let me remove all the drawings here because this is a little bit of a mess. Probably, yeah. Let's have a fresh start now. Overall, we're still on an uptrend. Of course, let's say if we take it from here, we can see that we are still on an uptrend. Now, that's taken from the low of the 6th of January of last year. This long-term upside support line, yeah, is taken from the 6th of January of 2021. Another issue here right now, however, with the upside is the fact that we are struggling with this, or actually, oh, I take my words back. We are not struggling with that anymore. We broke it nicely. So that means, yeah, okay. So, right, this changes a little bit of things because I kind of initially thought that this is going to be below, but no. Okay. At the moment, yes, this is looking quite positive, to be honest. My only concern here is that we already kind of had a good move higher, and one thing that I don't want this to be, because again, you know, the market never does what we want it to do, but hey, you know, that's part of the game. But basically, I don't want this to end up being somewhat of like this, that it could be like, let's say, a triangle, symmetrical triangle. So that means that, for example, if it might drift back down here, you know, it could start coiling up here. So so yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one here, and then it could be tricky for the buyers. But how we could play this one out is keep your eyes on the yesterday's high near the 0.9350, and as you pop above it, may open the door towards higher levels. GBPCHF. Now, in general, by the way, GBPCHF, in terms of CHF, we got some data from Switzerland, and yes, unemployment data. So that was all in line with the expectations. Okay, so that's quite good. However, as with all the safe haven currencies like the yen, you know, CHF is also seen as a more of a, yeah, like a safe haven. So whenever the times are bad, then yes, I mean, we could see this one maybe strengthening. So if the CHF, if the times are bad, then yes, I mean, we could see CHF strengthening. At the moment, it is pushing higher, this pair. If you do like to trade this pair, that's okay, that's fine. My only concern here for now, for example, for now, let's say for the upside, I would need to see a push above this 1.2228 zone. And if we are looking for some higher levels, then yes, first of all, a break of that this barrier is needed, and then maybe we'll aim for this downside line initially, taken from the high of the 18th of February, but we'll have to just take it from there, because what I'm kind of considering here as well is, for example, we could see this one pushing higher, but let's put it this way: if it ends up holding, if this downside line continues to hold, then something like this here could be possible. So we could see, you know, this one stalling near this downside line, and yep, another slide could be possible, where we could aim for that 1.2121 zone. And this is, of course, the very important area to watch, because if this gets broken, guys, I mean, this could open the door towards lower levels. And for now, like I said, I'm gonna I'm going to keep an eye on this because also, maybe we're going to end up forming here a possible descending triangle, which according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside. However, still a confirmation break would be needed in that case. GBP CAD, very quickly on this one, beautiful move to the upside. We broke the downside line. Well, to be honest, we had a good move here lower, and we in general from around the end of February, we continued to have this strong, beautiful move to the downside. Now we broke this downside line, and to be honest, I'm leaning a little bit towards the upside, and especially if it pops above this 1.6464 zone, then I'll aim for that 21-day EMA here. For the downside for me, I would need to see a drop below this lowest point, the current lowest point of April, near the 1.6296 level. EURGBP, guys, again, this is my least favorite pair, to be honest, but like I said, I do look at it sometimes, and we broke this upside line. So this is the thing, we had another, I would say a false breakout here, above this 200-day EMA, so it drifted back down, and heavily back to the downside, and actually we fell below all of the EMAs, so given that we formed a little doji here yesterday, I'm kind of leaning maybe for a bit of a retracement here to the upside, maybe towards that 21-day EMA. If it holds, another slide could be possible. So, however, if if it doesn't listen, as always, and let's say we start moving lower somehow, then I'll probably keep an eye on the low of yesterday near the 0.8326. A nice good drop below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. EURJPY, guys, EURJPY, yeah, okay, this one's quite interesting because, as you can see yourselves, it seems to be forming a possible bullish pennant. I'm not saying that this could be, this is exactly what's going to happen here, but still, it's a very interesting formation. The fact that we have rebounded from that 23.6% retracement here on the Fibonacci, that of course provides a bit more positivity. However, I would like to see a confirmation break above the 135.47 zone in order to go for some higher levels. So yep, until then we'll just observe this one, because let's say if this breaks through the lower side of this triangle, I will keep an eye on this 134.21, sorry, 134.12, or actually, sorry, no, I'll keep an eye on this 134.44 area. That's the 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, so this is probably going to be a little bit better level. So yeah, keep that in mind. And finally, EURUSD, a beautiful rebound. Look at this, guys. I mean, well, I talked about this hurdle previously, this 1.0891. But I said before that if we drop below this 1.0945 zone, I will aim for lower levels. Initially, this is going to be the obstacle, and if this obstacle gets broken, then my next target is the 1.0806. Well, we did break this hurdle, but we got a very interesting hold up around here, so this highlighted territory. Okay, so it wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't wrong for me to kind of, it wasn't wrong to kind of mark this as a highlighted territory, so it acted as a very nice area of support. So let's see if we can climb back higher here. At the moment, yes, we're getting that nice recovery, but if this hurdle, this 1.0945 area, if it continues to somehow provide resistance, then yes, another slide could be possible. However, for the upside, what I would like to see here is at least a push back above the 21-day EMA, and then I will take it from there, because then at least I can, I can justify a bit more buying activity here. But at the moment, any move higher is still kind of classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. Okay, guys, that's it for this session. Yeah, I can see you there in the chat room. Evo, yep, you're welcome, and I hope everybody else as well had a wonderful, well, you will have a wonderful, I hope you will have a wonderful morning, guys. Just to let you know that tomorrow the session will come out as a recorded one, so yeah, there won't be any live, and on Monday, I believe, as well, is going to be a recorded session. But again, like I said, I'll have to see how everything works out further. But yeah, hopefully, guys, you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. Really, yeah, it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your views, for your likes, your comments, and I'll see you tomorrow, or at least catch my video tomorrow at somewhere around 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.